Hello and welcome to the Empower project. In this video, I am going to show you how to create an audiobook using PowerPoint. But first, we need to know what an audiobook is. As the word itself says, an audiobook is a recording of a book or other work that is read out loud. With this concept in mind, the first thing I am going to focus on is the preparations. We need to make sure we have all the elements we will need to produce the audiobook before we start producing it. So for the audiobook, we will need the audiobook script and the voice recording. So let's get started, guys. So as I told you before, I have here a folder with all the elements we'll need to produce the audiobook. So I have here the Empower script. The subject of this audiobook is people around us. So we have used this test. 1, 2, 3 paragraph. So it's not so bad. So on the other hand, I have here the audio, an MP3 file, and then the PPT with the brand of the project, in this case Empower. So I have here people around us. This is the title of the audiobook. So this is gonna be our master slide. So and finally we have like the final slide with all the partners, disclaimers, etc. So guys, we need to make sure we don't put too much text on the slide, as it is not pleasing to the eye, so it's not good looking. So the first thing I'm going to do today is gonna be split the audio, because we are gonna use one audio file per slide. So that means every audio file is gonna be like 20 to 30 seconds in average. So imagine this, we have all the audio, we need to split into different sections, and we need one section per slide. So for that task, we are going to use Audacity. Audacity is an open software, so you can download and it's free for you, and it's really easy to use. So this is the Audacity interface. So move the MP3 file, or if you don't know how to do that, you can go to File, Open, and then you have to go to the file to download or wherever you have the file. So, and then I'm going to cancel this option because I have the audio already here. So for this, I am going to make the timeline. I don't know if you are familiar with audio editing software. There we go. So I usually put the timeline in this format that you can see numbers from 0, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 13. Because with this configuration, with this setup, you can see the breaks. So you can identify the end of each paragraph or each sentence, so it's easy for you to make the break here, to split. First of all, we need to hear the recording to know in which point we should split the audio, or we should cut the audio.
As we age, we tend to shed family and friends, which can hurt our mental and physical health. How can we design communities for seniors that facilitate social connections? The most important thing in a community like this is having people around to support and engage you. Taking care of each other keeps you alive and healthy. Researchers have long known about the health benefits of social capital, the ties that build trust, connection, and participation.
Participation. So this is gonna be the first word of this section. So we need to go here. Participation. Connection and participation. So this is gonna be the test that we are going to use for the first slide. So we are going to change the color, and then when we copy and paste the text from the audiobook script to the PowerPoint, we know which text we should include in each slide. So we have the first slide, so we need to export this audio. So this is a good point. And then I'm going to select everything, also this section, with the left click, and we move the cursor to the beginning, and then we are going to File, Export selected audio. Okay, so I am going to use a different file. I am going to use MP3 files because it is easier for you and for your PC to work with MP3 files. So MP3 people around us, I'm going to rename this section as 1, and where desktop empower people around us here. Okay, let's go. Number 1, MP3 people around us, save. Okay, and we have created the first section of the audio where we'll need to create an audiobook. So for the first section we have the audio and the text, so we can move to the next section, that is the number 2. So I'm going to remove this. Okay, let's go. So for the second section it's the same process, so we need to hear the voice recording, so let's go.
But this link may be particularly important for seniors, precisely because both our health and our social capital tend to decline as we age. We retire from jobs, lose friends and spouses to death and illness, and see family members move out of the area, all of which can sharply reduce daily social contacts and stimulation, which in turn has a direct impact on mental and physical health.
Physical health. So we are going to use this section as the number 2 for the second slide. So we need to go export selected audio. The folder is the same, so we need to rename this file as 2. Save. Okay, and we have the second section. We have the audio for the second section ready to use.
Physical health.
Physical health. Physical health is here, so I am going to change the color for this text, and then we will know which part we should use on the slide. So remove this section. Let's go to create the section number 3.
Fortunately, there are solutions. More and more studies are discovering how senior communities can be designed to maximize sharing, friendship, health, and happiness in our later years. Having good relationships and family is clearly a winning strategy in life, tied to greater psychological and physical well-being. Thus, it's not surprising that relationships and family also matter when it comes to resiliency, in part because they help us feel less stressed when we are suffering.
When they are suffering. So here, this is gonna be our third audio. So file, export selected audio, and the name is gonna be 3. Save. Okay, and we have the audio for the third section. Less stress when we are suffering. Here, this is gonna be the text we're gonna use for the third slide. So we need to change the color just to differentiate the text from the second one for the first one. So we are on the halfway. So we are gonna start with the next section. So let's go.
Large-scale population studies have shown that positive relationships at one period of life predict less depression later. Good relationships are particularly protective for older adults, who might face declining cognitive abilities or health challenges. The reason may be that good relationships and families seem to help us tamp down stress reactions, even when we just recall those relationships.
So here we go, relationships, here. So this is gonna be our next section. Let me check, yes, it's gonna be the number 4. So we can go to File, Export, Export Selected Audio. And this is gonna be the number 4. Export, okay. And then we can move here to change the color. You recall those relationships here. So this is gonna be our next section. I'm going to change the color here for a green color, just to differentiate each slide. So then here we can start with the new one.
Relationships and family influence health and well-being throughout the lifespan, with effects evident for multiple dimensions of health. At the most basic level, involvement in satisfying relationships and family has been shown to predict mortality after adjusting for biomedical, for example, cholesterol levels, hypertension, and behavioral, for example, smoking, diet, risk factors. Social support as
I will say here, this is
risk factors.
Risk factors. So let me check the text. Yes, is the final of the sentence. So we can go ahead, export, export selected audio, and this is gonna be the number 5. Save. Okay. And factors. And you can see this is the first word, and it is the same with the final sentence here, so it's a good structure for an audio. So file, oh sorry, here is just the color. So we have different colors here. Each color means a different section. So for the final section, I am not gonna listen the audio because it's really obvious. So this is the final. So I am going to export this section as the number. Oh, the final. Yeah, I can select a file, export selected audio. And then we can go to the number 6, I think. Let me check. Yes, the number 6. So save. Okay. Perfect. So this is a different color as well. It's not necessary, but just to change all the colors. Perfect. So once we have all the audios, we can close this program. No. Okay, perfect. So once we have all the audios and the scripts for each slide, we can start producing the PowerPoint. So this is the process where we put everything into PowerPoint, and it's really easy. So the first one is ready. This is the audio. I am going to remove this audio because we are not gonna use. I need to remove the audio of each slide. So the first slide is this one, as we age, blah blah blah, till participation. So we need to put the audio here. So we need to go to insert. So we need to go to insert, audio, audio from file. So we need to go to the location where we have all the files. So, and we are going to use the first section, the first audio. So we can insert, it's gonna take some time, and I used to move everything here or in a visible way. So once we have the audio on the PowerPoint, we need to make sure we have the right settings. So we need to go to playback and then hide during show. That means that this icon is gonna be hide during the presentation, and then here we need to change the settings start to automatically. That means when we click to the next section, to the next slide, the audio is gonna start to play automatically. And we don't need to move anything else, so we can start with the second one. So we need to hear second slide. We need to change the text to the correspond, and is this one from bad to health. Need to copy and paste, and here we go. And the same process, and we need to go through the same process as the slide number 1. So we need to go to insert audio from file, number 2, insert, we move the icon here, playback, and we need to change this. We need to click here and then automatically start automatically and hide during show. And that's basically all the process we need to follow, and I am going to show you how to do with the next slide. So this is the next slide. We need first of all to change the text. So it's from here for to Natalie, copy, paste, there we go. So, and then we need to insert audio from file. This is the number 3, insert, playback, hide, and then automatically. And we have to repeat the same process through all the slides. And if you don't know which audio is, you can hear the audio here.
Large-scale population studies have shown that positive relationships at one period of life predict less depression later.
So this is the right one with the text. This match, so we're in the good way. So we need to go to playback, hide, automatically, and then go to the next slide, copy, select all, paste, insert, audio from file. This is the number 5 where we are. So we are currently in the number 6 I'm going to check if no, so we have to move to the playback, hide automatically, and I am not sure if we copy and paste. Yes, we copy and paste the text for this slide, and then we can finish. As you can see, it's a really easy process. So once you change all the settings for one slide, it's the same for every slide, so it's really easy. So we have everything. We have different slides here. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different slides. So I usually check if everything is fine, so we can go here.
As we age, we tend to shed family and friends, which can hurt our mental and physical health. How can we design communities for seniors that facilitate social connections? The most important thing in a community like this is having people around to support and engage you. Taking care of each other keeps you alive and healthy. Researchers have long known about the health benefits of social capital, the ties that build trust, connection, and participation.
And then if we go to the next slide.
But this link may be particularly important.
If you can see, there is no any icon here, so it's hide, and the audio is from here to here, so it's up to every person to go ahead and to go back to listen again the audio.
Large-scale population studies have shown that positive relationships at one period of life predict
It's the same process.
Relationships and family influence health. Social support has been linked to decreased risks.
And the final slide, yeah, here we go, perfect. And we finished. This is the final process, so we finished all the process. So we have this PPT, this PowerPoint presentation ready to use or to deliver to the right person. So obviously you can change the animations and the text over here. It's up to you, but for me it's really easy to keep all the, just copy and paste through the same presentations. Anyway, we finished. Thank you very much guys for staying here with me, for watching this video, and I hope you enjoyed this video. My name is Harold Gordillo, and see you next time. Bye bye.